harvest fields of the Pala Indian Reservation. I want to personally thank each one of you for your prayers and your partnership in the Pala ministry. Speaking of your prayers, listed on the screen are all the areas where your prayers are having an impact, and we will cover each one of those this morning. I am reminded of the following Bible verses. Ephesians 6:18 says, "And pray in the Spirit on all occasions with all kinds of prayers and requests, and always keep on praying for all the saints." And Philippians 1:3-5 says, "I thank my God every time I remember you because of your partnership in the gospel from the first day until now." I know that some of you pray early each morning for the Pala prayer requests that appear in every Sunday program insert. And many thanks to the WMU for their faithful prayer support on the list that I have given them. Here is the first example of how your prayers are having an impact. About 2 months ago, Harvey spoke to you about the wonderful backyard Bible clubs that his Sunday school class has been conducting quarterly in Pala. Here we gather about 18 children and their moms from one Pala neighborhood, and a team of 8 to 10 volunteers share a Sunday afternoon of Bible stories, testimonies, games, arts and crafts, the gospel, and a delicious lunch. The idea is to send the same volunteers back to the same neighborhoods once a quarter so that relationships and bonds can be built with the Pala attendees. Shown is just one child who really enjoys the fun activities and getting to know more about Jesus. On the left, we see Harvey's class in action, sharing stories and Bible stories and testimonies. On the right is a picture of 3 generations of Christians, including the lady in the gray, who was 8 years old in 1998, when her mom in orange first brought her to our church's VBS in the Pala Park. She now has children who attend our backyard Bible clubs. So for those of you who helped plant those seeds in 1998, you are, so to speak, spiritual grandparents. Again, Philippians 1:5 says, "I thank you for your partnership in the gospel from the first day until now." Harvey's class and the CYF will be back in Pala this Saturday. I thank you for your servant heart. We continue to have weekly evening Hispanic Bible studies in people's homes. 2 weeks ago, we had 15 adults and 10 children attend. We also conduct children's Bible classes during the evening studies. Here on the left, next slide. Here on the left, every child wants a "What would Jesus do?" bracelet. And many say they are not ashamed and will even wear these to school. On the right, one of the challenges of reservation work is limited meeting space. Here we are holding a children's Bible study in Pala, where 12 kids sit on the floor in an 8-foot by 8-foot outdoor shack. We started monthly Sunday morning worship services in June, and even have children's Sunday school classes. This is the 21st Century Korean Church of Anaheim's missionary praise band at their one-day VBS in June. The 43 from Pala had a lot of fun, which even included some of the mothers. We still take kids to the Wild Resort during summer so that they can enjoy something they otherwise might not never be able to do living on a hot, dusty reservation. The The lady on your left wanted me to share the gospel with her nieces and nephews at the Well Resort. 4 of them prayed to receive Christ that night. One of the highlights of the evening is cooking s'mores, that is toasting marshmallows, around the campfire, which leaves lasting memories. In July, the Good Community Church of Torrance led a 1-week VBS in Pala. They brought 40 volunteers from their 3,000-member Korean congregation, and we had a high daily attendance of 60 from Pala. There were plenty of fun activities, including eating Korean barbecue for lunch every day and getting wet in the 100-degree heat. We have up to 5 candidates scheduled for a September baptism at Solana Beach, similar to this last one. This wonderful sister wanted to serve occasionally in Pala, but sadly found disappointment. 8 Pala mothers committed in advance to attend her very first Chinese cooking class, but only 2 actually showed up to enjoy the delicious, healthy Thai pineapple chicken fried rice that she prepared. She became so discouraged that she will probably not return to Pala. The lack of commitment by Pala residents is one of the challenges of reservation ministry. Once again, over 50 bags of back-to-school supplies were prepared by our WMU, just like last year. Thank you, my sisters. And in addition, Faith in Action, an outside ladies group attended by Shelley Niino, also bought 20 backpacks for the Backyard Bible Club children that Shelley has personally got to know by going down to Pala. In this example of a profound answer to prayer, at the family's request, we have been visiting Esther, who's age 84, who is under the blanket in the picture, ever since her terminal cancer diagnosis several months ago. Since then, you have been praying for her health and her salvation. Since she is a lifelong Catholic, we have to be careful not to push our evangelical views too aggressively, lest they ask us not to return. But then one day, in answer to your prayers, Esther asked us, "Where do you go when you die?" Well, this was our clear opportunity provided by the Holy Spirit. And after the gospel was presented to Esther, her 85-year-old husband, and 56-year-old daughter, they all prayed to receive Christ that day. In Pala, we may not reach the masses, but we do try and save one soul at a time. The next week, we had a second birthday barbecue of carne asada to celebrate the spiritual birthdays of the 3 who were born again. Esther's husband told us that in her last days, the only time she was able to smile was when we would visit her and sing Christian songs to her. Esther became a member of the family of God on July 25th, 2018. And just 7 weeks later, this past Wednesday, she entered eternity to be with Jesus Christ, her Lord. Please keep her family in prayer. In yet another example of your prayers being answered, approximately 2 to 3 weeks after these 2 Pala residents' old cars became completely disabled, donors stepped forward with these nice white used vehicles. The donor of Gladys' car is an anonymous church member of our church. And incidentally, Gladys just started a new job made totally possible because she now has reliable transportation to work. To close, I would like each of you now to imagine for a moment living in Pala, where there is much brokenness and despair. His brother and sister family know full well the painful uncertainty, worry, and fear of reservation life. Picture yourself walking in their shoes, surrounded by drug and alcohol addictions, broken families, no jobs, and the constant fear of deportation. The next time you have the opportunity to do missions work in any underprivileged place, remember the words of this song, "People Need the Lord." And my wife told me on the way here this morning, do not sing this song. So I'm just going to recite it to you. Every day they pass me by, I can see it in their eye. Empty people filled with care, headed who knows where. On they go through private pain, living fear to fear. Laughter hides their silent cries that only Jesus hears. There are lost and hurting people everywhere with nothing to look up for. We are called to take his light to a world where wrong seems right. What would be too great a cost for sharing life with one who's lost? Through his love, our hearts can feel all the grief that they bear. They must hear the words of life that only we can share. There is one hope. Jesus is the only answer. People need the Lord. People need the Lord. At the end of broken dreams, he's the open door. When will we realize that we must share our lives? For people need the Lord. People need the Lord. Go tell someone about Jesus today. And as they say on the reservation, muchas gracias. Vaya con Dios, mis amigos. Thank you very much. Go with God, my friends. Thank you.